immune cells to infiltrate and attack cancer cells and tumors. So the ECM can be stiff and rigid, and this can prevent uh, immune cells from entering to attack cancer cells and tumors. So the first step here to help open up the ECM or to make it less rigid is with a brown fat, especially in nutrient deprived TME, or short for tumor microenvironment. So FGF21 is a stress adaptation hormone secreted by brown adipose tissue. Now, some good ways to boost brown fat is with a cold exposure that can help, carnitine supplementation, and as well as capsaicin from red chili powder, red chili paste, red chili sauces. Those contain capsaicin, can also boost brown fat activation. Just not excessive capsaicin, because that can be risky for the heart. Now, the reason FGF21 is critical to help secrete or promotes mitochondrial resilience. So that's what FGF21 does. The mitochondria is critical to create ATP for the immune system, because the immune system demands a lot, or maybe even a ton of ATP for its immune function. Okay, so step 2 for opening or making the ECM less rigid for immune cells is bromelain and pineapple. Now, pineapple may be the only fruit that has bromelain. So bromelain cleaves CD44 and CD62L. So those are both adhesion molecules on immune cells. And so with the bromelain cleaving those, that leaves the domains functional and preserved. So with the CD62L intact, means homing and trafficking of immune cells is possible. Now, this has to do with proline being intact. Now, you can find proline in foods like bone broth. So what that does is that it has a different effect with the pineapple. When the pineapple cleaves the CD44 and CD62L, as compared with if the pineapple bromelain cleaved those two molecules, if proline wasn't intact. Okay, also, immune cells, they may circulate but are less capable of entering the ECM if other barriers exist. So that's going to be a rabbit hole for a different video. Okay, now here's the chromatin DNA piece. Now this part is important because immune cell infiltration into the ECM can be possible, even if the ECM is loose, but full functional activity may be limited by epigenetic silencing. Now, epigenetic silencing, another word or another way to say it, or a different way to explain it, is with chromatin being either opened or closed. So if chromatin is closed, that means that even if immune cells arrive inside the ECM, their activation, or their, like, let's say their cytotoxic attacks, like granzyme B perforins, for example, that's like a way immune cells attack cancer cells, or even cytokines that T cells use and upregulate for, like, let's say, inflammatory environments, that those will not work. They will not be functional if they are epigenetically repressed at chromatin. So that's because if chromatin is closed, the transcription factors, or the genes that are supposed to be to boost immune function or any kind of immune function, will not work, or will not be able to enter into the chromatin. because the transcription factors or genes that promote and boost and support immune system functions against cancer will be disabled or will not work if they can't enter inside chromatin if the chromatin is closed. Okay, now one thing that could help open up chromatin if it's closed so that immune functions can work. Okay, but this one thing isn't the only thing alone. It has to be like with a combination and a long sequence of things and cascades and pathways. But just to keep it simple, because it's a rabbit hole for a different video. But one thing that could help is sulforaphane in cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, kale, etc. So those kinds of vegetables have a sulforaphane, and the sulforaphane is supposed to help to loosen up and open up the chromatin instead of chromatin being closed. Now, the next thing that could help open up ECM barriers is zinc, and zinc boosts MMP9. MMP9 is short for matrix metalloproteinase 9, and this opens extracellular matrix. So zinc is a cofactor for MMPs, and with enough zinc, this leads to optimal MMP9 activity. What this ends up doing is it allows immune cells to penetrate the ECM, even if CD44 and CD62L are intact. So maybe even if pineapple does not cleave the CD44 and CD62L, that zinc can still help immune cells enter the ECM by upregulating MMP9. Okay, another cool thing about pineapple bromelain is that it can help vitamin A levels. Now that's critical because vitamin A helps vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 is reliant on vitamin A. And the way bromelain in pineapple does that is that by cleaving CD44, CD62L, now those two adhesion molecules, they have to be cleaved to improve liver function. What that ends up doing is that the liver function is boosted, and that helps the liver export vitamin A. Now that the mechanism for that will have to be for a different video. Now, pineapple is critical for the liver because if there is excessive liver inflammation, this can actually impair VLDL production, lowering vitamin A availability. So, bromelain in pineapple actually helps reduce liver inflammation, therefore allowing vitamin A to be able to work because vitamin A has to feed the parietal cells so that the parietal cells make intrinsic factor for vitamin B12 because vitamin B12 cannot work properly without intrinsic factor. And then once the intrinsic factor is working, a B12 creates a glutathione, and then glutathione reduces advanced glycation end products. Because if there's too many A's, then the ECM will become too stiff and rigid, and immune cells cannot enter or infiltrate the ECM to battle cancer cells. Also, vitamin A is reliant on iron. Iron helps out vitamin A. A lysosomal membrane cannot be peroxidized, or else the iron will not be processed correctly. And magnesium can help the LMP. So that's it for the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep it locked in here on this channel for future videos because I have many more coming, and I'll see you next time.